Peter Connelly, better known as Baby P, who was killed in 2007 at the hands of his mother, Tracey Connelly, her boyfriend, Stephen Barker, and her boyfriend's brother, Jason Owens, after suffering months of horrific abuse and dying with a catalogue of injuries, doesn't seem to be seeing the justice that he deserves, especially when such a horrific offence, as explained in yesterday's video, would deserve nothing less than a whole life sentence. Baby P's mother, Tracey, could be walking free from prison in a few months after the Parole Board have now deemed her release appropriate. Connelly was jailed at the Old Bailey in 2009 for causing or allowing the death of her 17-month-old Peter at their home in Tottenham, North London on the 3rd of August 2007. She was released after just 4 years on licence, but soon recalled in 2015 for breaching her parole conditions. However, in March this year, the Parole Board decided Connelly was suitable for release, having rejected 3 previous bids in 2015, 2017 and 2019. After hearing, she is now considered to be at low risk of committing a further offence and that probation officers and prison officials supported the plan. Now, I don't know why the chance of committing further offences should outweigh the offences she'd already committed, but it seems her involvement in Baby P's death is less important for her to serve jail time than her apparent risk of reoffending, even though she couldn't keep to her release conditions the last time. Dominic Raab has spoken out to share his disgust with the decision, even though he himself makes plenty of questionable decisions. Raab said Connelly's actions were pure evil, adding that the decision to release her demonstrates why the Parole Board needs a fundamental overhaul, including a ministerial check for the most serious offenders, so that it serves and protects the public. Well, Raab, the Parole Board isn't exactly the only organisation that needs overhauling now, is it? How about the police, the IOPC, social services? All of these fail to act, suggesting that in some cases, people who make reports is a nuisance or a liar. I mean, how many times have we seen that scenario play out to a devastating end? The Parole Board is supposed to be independent to the government, which in reality means it's about as independent as the IOPC is to the police. A Parole Board spokesman said in a statement, "Following the reconsideration application from the Secretary of State, a judge has ruled that the decision made by independent Parole Board members to release was not irrational, as stated in the reconsideration application, and the original decision is upheld. The reconsideration mechanism introduced in July 2019 allows the Justice Secretary and the prisoner to challenge the Parole Board's decision within 21 days if they believe them to be procedurally unfair or irrational. Victims and members of the public can also make requests via the Minister, but the threshold is high and is the same as required when seeking a judicial review in court. Now, the provisions also make it clear that simply being unhappy with a decision is not grounds for reconsideration. But I don't personally think it's a case of being unhappy about the decision. I think it's more a case of being fucking disgusted. Parole Judge Jeremy Roberts QC, who considered the appeal, said, "I have carefully considered all of the arguments advanced by the Secretary of State in support of his application, but cannot find anything in them to justify reconsideration of the panel's decision. This application is therefore refused, and the panel's provisional decision is now final." Now, although Connelly will face some 20+ licence conditions, including on her own activities and movements, she has, as I said, already proven she can't abide by the restrictions and should never be allowed to interact with a civilised society ever again. In fact, one of her conditions will be that she cannot go to certain places to avoid contact with victims and to protect children. I can really see this turning out well for the Parole Board. Do not forget this face. This is a face that everyone should know, although I'm sure she will be given some kind of protection like Jamie Bulger's killers. But remember this vile creature's face, and when you've finished being sick, keep an eye open in your local communities, because this is one of those crimes, like James Bulger's murder, that should never ever be forgotten. Big thank you to channel supporters, one and all, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. Stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.